everyone, and welcome back to Have a Nice Day show. We are recording episode number 8, y'all. We reached 8.
And who are you again?
My name is Janine.
And I'm Joshua.
I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Janine. I'm half of the Have a Nice Day show.
And I'm Joshua, the other half of the Have a Nice Day podcast.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah, because you're really slacking these days.
I am. I'm just so excited to do episode number 8 because we've always been talking about the 8th hump.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to get over this. And also, it's getting me excited. And I'm not sure if you guys notice, we have new equipment.
Yeah, especially me, because my audio quality for the last 7 episodes, I would say, sounded like I'm sitting in a washing machine. But now it's much better. We got this cool Zoom thingy.
Zoom thingy.
Just plugged in our microphones into this and we're ready to go. We had to splurge a little bit, use some of our earnings from this podcast, which was zero.
Nada.
Not zilch.
But with your continued support,
who knows, maybe
we get someone to sponsor our episodes.
Yeah, maybe you can just donate something to us if you really like this episode. So guys, welcome back to episode 8. I would say, first of all, thank you for everyone who's been sharing and
caring.
Sharing and carrying this podcast out to their friends and families. We've been doing this relentlessly and we've been planning a lot, and
guys, we haven't skipped a week.
Yeah, we've been doing this back to back, endless hours of editing, recording, planning. We have a great episode lined up for you guys today. It's about us again. We're gonna skip the advice today. We're gonna just share more about who we are, what's it like growing up in a mixed household, and how we've adapted and learned to live in a society that is Dubai with like over 200 different nationalities.
Yeah. And not just single nationalities, like there are a lot of mixed race. Mm-hmm. Kids, people, adults, moms, parents.
Exactly, from all walks of life, I would say. Like just a while ago, Janine and I were stalking this guy from TikTok. And he was half Kenyan and half Filipino.
So interesting. Yeah. So interesting.
Okay, maybe I don't know, I would say both of us at least, we are also quite unique.
Yeah, we are.
We have a story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
We both comes from a diverse background.
Yeah.
So I think we are interesting. And I never did.
Yeah, convince yourself that we are interesting.
I am interesting. It's my affirmations every morning. Yeah.
You look into the mirror and you're like, I am interesting.
I am what you need.
I am your father.
Which movie is that?
That is Star Trek? I'm kidding.
I would kill myself.
I'm kidding. Star Wars. That is Darth Vader.
Vader.
Darth
Vader.
Vader. Not dark. Darth
okay, I was
Vader.
just testing you and you passed. Huh. Okay. So, before we get started, we have everyone's favorite segment, the
Rapid Fire Questions. That was good.
Sorry, guys. that was so in sync, though. That was very in sync.
Yeah, we promised ourselves that we'll put in a professional audio after 10th episode, right? Yeah. So we have 2 more.
And who knows, maybe even a video segment of this podcast. So stay tuned for that, guys. So for today's rapid fire session, I believe that I go first.
Yeah.
So my question to Janine, after she's done sipping her coffee, would be, what's the weirdest nationality? Not weirdest, but what's the most unique nationality that someone has confused you for?
Okay. See, I always get, I would say the top 2.
Okay.
I get either Latina
or Sugandis.
Okay, can you mind explaining to our listeners what Sugandis is?
Everyone can Google it if they want. Okay, Latina and
Indian.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more surprised that people confuse you to be Latina.
Ouch.
First of all, you cannot speak any Spanish.
Excuse me? Yo habla español.
That was something you just Googled 5 minutes ago.
I know a little bit of Spanish.
And Indian?
No, I don't.
So okay, what happens in a situation like that?
Now I wish I could speak Hindi so I could like.
Kaisa hai bhai? Aap kya naam hai?
Ab kya naam hai?
Yeah.
That's the only thing he knows, by the way. He doesn't speak Hindi at all.
No, so okay, I'll get back to that later, but okay.
I'm just putting the situation on you. What was the question?
I asked you already.
Oh, okay. You just want me to elaborate on it?
Yeah, elaborate on that. What would you do in a situation like that?
So there were a couple of times where strangers would come up to me and start speaking to me in Hindi or Espanol.
Okay.
So there was this one girl in Dubai Mall and was so flattered. She came up to me and she started speaking Spanish and I was just like, oh, no habla español. And she was like, oh, I really thought you were Venezuelan. She looked at me and she's like, I really thought you were Latina. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And I felt really flattered. And sometimes people come up to me and speak to me in Hindi. And I say that I can't speak the language, but I always say that my dad is Indian and my mom is Filipino.
Why would you say that?
Just to mess things around.
Okay. That's a weird thing to mess around with. What if they ask you who your dad is? And
then I tell them that I don't know my dad. I don't know who my dad is because he left me when I was young. Yeah.
Is that true?
No. Oh my gosh. Why is it that's like a very common question, by the way?
That's the first question I usually get from a Filipino.
Right?
From a Filipino.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
Why would it be the norm for half and half Filipino and something else for their parents to be divorced?
Or they never knew their father or gone missing or I don't know. Maybe
Guys,
it's because...
let's not normalize that. Yeah. It's not.
No, but for me, when people ask me that, I ask them, "Oh, are your parents together as well?" And usually,
like to put them in their place.
Like that's a weird question to ask someone.
It is, but I got that. I would say 1,000,000 times.
I would got it 1,000,001 times.
Yeah,
I would say.
Like especially when I'm speaking to a Filipino and they start asking me where I'm from, and I say, "Oh, well, I'm half Filipino and half Lebanese." And then the next question is, "Oh, are your parents still together?"
But you know, Filipinos have gotten smart. You know, they ask now instead.
What?
Oh, are your parents here in Dubai? Yes, to make it less awkward. Because I've gotten that just recently at the West Zone.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, like, are your parents here in Dubai? I'm like, yeah, I live with them. They're like, oh, okay, so they're still together. I'm like, okay, you just messed it up again.
But yeah, guys, let's not make that a normal thing.
Yeah, let the other person, let us bring it up if it ever...
If we want to.
Rises up.
Yeah. Like, I don't think it's any people's business to start asking if people's parents are still together. Anyway... Are you done with your question?
I am done. Thank you for answering
that.
No, that's okay.
Okay, but yes, I never get Filipino or Lebanese from the get-go. Unless I start speaking. And they're like, oh, seems like you have a Filipino twang in your accent. So, my question is, one day...
Yes.
Okay.
That was rapid fire questions for everyone. That's how fast I can answer.
One day you wake up.
Okay.
It's not a yes or no question, by the way.
Okay.
One day you wake up and UAE suddenly says... For all of our expats, you have to get out of the country. We're only going to keep locals in. And they give you a choice of where to go. Either your home country or countries or wherever. Just say that visa is not a problem. Where would you go?
Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world.
This question makes no sense to me, but I'm going to still play along.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But just, you woke up one day and UAE is like, get out. Where are you going to go?
I would go to Philippines.
Again, let me rephrase the question.
Go ahead again and I'll still stick to my answer.
Anywhere you can go.
Yeah, my heart lives in Asia. It's gonna be here forever. Okay, maybe Indonesia, but only in Bali.
Oh, okay.
Those are my top 2 places where I see myself living. Both are situated in Asia, and I just love the lifestyle. I love the people. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of the western side of the world, especially with how the situation is right now.
I think COVID just surfaced all of the...
Yeah, it showed the real colors of the western side.
That are happening.
Like, there are memes being circulated. Like, they say that, like, America in movies, you know, they're like, we can stop anything. Nuclear missile,
like
nothing.
The greatest country ever.
But, like, handling a pandemic, okay.
And handling the elections. Oh. Let's not get into that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's not doing so well. But also, I mean, for those listening, I don't want to make it seem that I don't like the Philippines. I love the Philippines. I'm just...
Okay, because I got a very, very strange vibe.
It's just that, if I'm being real, it's difficult to earn a living in the Philippines. And if you're there, if you don't have... I don't know, if you don't have a business, and if you're going to work for the corporate world, or you're going to work a normal 9-to-5 job, it's not going to be the same as what you do or what you get in Dubai, in UAE, or anywhere else, I would guess. But maybe it would be enough for living there.
And that's anywhere in the world, Janine. I feel
guess.
There's always a struggle of life wherever you go.
Yeah, I guess it's just because I not grew up, but I stayed in the Philippines for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't.
Yeah, I know Philippines as vacation Josh, not as working Josh.
Exactly.
So I'm basing all my opinions on that.
Yeah. And I love it. I love the Philippines. Don't get me wrong. And I always miss it. But for the time being, I don't see myself there. Maybe when I've saved so much and I'm able to open up my business of maybe a coffee shop or something.
Oh yeah, that sounds like an amazing idea, I would say.
That probably turns into a stand-up comedy club.
Beautifully
at
said.
Night.
It's like you're reading my mind.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe if I have something like that, then yes. So I've written down a couple of things that only mixed race kids would go through, feel, think. So one is, you're in trouble when your mom or your dad switches to their mother tongue when they're...
I know that feeling all too well. My mom would go from 0 to 100 from English to Tagalog really quickly. It's an everyday staple in the Dice household, especially for me.
And do you understand it?
I understand it.
Everything.
Yeah.
Even
but I laugh.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm one of those.
Yeah, you laugh now, but I guess when you were 5 or 6 or when you were younger.
I felt my mom was gonna hang me off the ceiling fan.
You would poop your pants.
100%.
And would your dad scold you in Hindi?
So the thing is, my dad never did scold me a lot growing up. It was mostly my mom.
Mm-hmm.
My dad would just be on the corner and he would let my mom handle it.
Oh, so your dad's the good cop.
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad was always good cop. And then my mom from a mile away would throw her slippers at me. She has
such an Asian thing to do.
Seriously. Yeah. And that same slipper has killed 1,000 cockroaches. So I was more scared of the cockroach dead remains on my body than the actual pain of the slipper. But that made me the person who I am today,
Yeah.
I'm a pro believer that kids should be beaten or hit. Yeah.
Not beaten. I'm sorry guys, we just need to speak in private about this and we will get back to you.
Yeah, after this short commercial from our sponsor.
The Zoom thingy. But yeah, I am not opposed to the idea of, spanking children, but not beating them up to a pulp. It's the Asian style.
Yeah, I was joking, obviously, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think hitting a kid really does formulate them at a young age to become better individuals as they grow up.
Yeah, I think other people would say otherwise, but I guess it's just the Asian way.
Maybe in Western households.
Yeah. But look at us, we're okay. Yeah. I think we grew up okay.
I just have a few bruises on my back since my childhood days, but
which was never rubbed off. It's just there.
Yeah, but I another thing that I realize as well is when they start using your full name.
When my mom starts calling me in my full name, like Janine, Khori, Elias, and I'm like,
it's over.
I'm like, what have I done? What have I done? And the funny thing is, all of my siblings, my ate and my younger brother would look at me and be like, "Whoa."
That's another thing that I love. Your siblings love it when your parents beat you up.
Yeah.
It brings joy to them.
No, but they got it coming for them as well, because my mom will not beat just one child.
Oh yeah, it's a whole family
it's
event.
A whole okay, you screw up, or for example, my sister screws up, and everyone else gets a spanking. But why? I don't understand.
No, but it also works both ways. So even growing up, when it was my brother's birthday, we would all get gifts.
Oh,
so it was nice. So my parents would balance it out. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, we didn't.
And we would snitch on our siblings as well.
You would?
If we know it's gonna happen to us, we're not going down alone.
You would?
I would always snitch on my siblings, yeah.
Out of the blue, or only because you're already in a pickle?
I'm already in a pickle, and I'm like, okay. I don't want to go down alone.
Okay.
And I'm like, how about Hannah? She didn't do this. Yeah. Okay. How about Dwayne? He also did that. He was with me when that happened.
And then your mom's like, pow, pow, pow.
Pow. A triple beating.
Nice.
A triple threat.
The same for us, yeah. One gets a beating, everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And the sad thing to that is, I'm not bragging, but I was a good child. I was quiet. And my sister was more outspoken.
Okay.
My sister was more adventurous. And she would get scolded every other day. And I would get the secondhand scolding as well.
The ripple effect.
Exactly. I'm like, but what have I done again? What is happening?
It's a whole family affair.
It is. I love
Asian
it.
problem does like have effects on everyone in the family.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of siblings, I'm not sure if this applies to you, but my siblings and I, especially my sister and I, because we grew up very, very close. We're only a year and a few months apart. And we would have our secret language, I would say. So, for example, we're hanging out with Filipino friends. If we want to speak about something or talk about someone without them knowing what we're talking about, then we would speak in Arabic, and vice versa. When we're hanging out with Arabic friends or Arab friends, we would then speak in Tagalog. So it was our superpower, I would say.
Okay. I hate you guys then. Because I've been like a victim of that. Like I've had Filipinos talk about me in Tagalog, thinking I'm an Indian or something else.
Because you don't look Filipino.
Zero.
You can pass as a Mexicano, I would say. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because I think the way I carry myself is that of a Mexican. Like gang violence and... No, that can get me canceled.
So far away from that.
Essay, get into my car. We have 4 Loko and we'll go down the street and have Taco Bell, guys.
Hey, papi.
Yeah.
Where you headed to, papi?
I'm going down the street, you know. It's not, this area is not safe for a girl like you. Why don't you hop into my lowrider? Get into my whip, yo. Hang out with my essays.
No, thank you.
Why are you being loco right now?
Or loca.
Oh, loca, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Loca.
Why are you so loca? No, but I've been, like what I've been saying, I've been a victim of that when people have been talking behind my back. So I remember this one particular day when I just came from basketball. So, you know, I ball so hard. And
Oh, sorry.
They call me the king of the court back in St. Mary's.
You know what? I'm going to ask a couple of my St. Mary's friends.
I forgot we ran in the same circles. But there was one day where I was in Sun and Sands. I was with a friend. And so this is like post-basketball game. So I'm all sweaty. I can admit that. And I go into Sun and Sands and then I hear a Filipina attendant speaking about me. He's like, hey, watch this guy. He looks like he's going to steal something. Hey, watch this guy. He looks like he's just going to roam around and not buy anything. Just
stop.
Yeah. And then I came up to her later and I'm like, I really speak Filipino and it's not nice what he said. And please don't check my bag because I did steal something.
Do you have alarms in the entrance and exit?
Do you have alarms by any chance? Because I'm going to walk out now.
And it might trigger the alarm.
No, but it has happened. And I really didn't like the feeling.
Oh, yeah. That sucks. That happened to me as well. A lot of times. One instance, and I've also, that happened to me as well. So one significant instance when it happened was I still have colored hair, and I used to have my full head of hair colored. And I remember it was green or teal, similar to what I have now, but my full head of hair, and it was long. And I was in Dubai Mall, and I think it was Caribou there. I was ordering coffee. I went in.
Was it the same day that a Latina came up to you?
No, not the same day.
Okay, onward.
But there, let me rephrase that. Yeah. There were 3 Arab men.
Okay, from where?
Seated next, and let's not talk about where.
Okay.
But they were seated close to the entrance. And when I came in, I already heard one of them comment about my hair, saying, oh, look at that girl's hair. It's ugly. It's not nice. It's very flashy. And then the other guy was like, oh, I think it's cool. I think it's cool. And then I ordered my coffee. And then they served my coffee, took my coffee, and it was a to-go. I wasn't drinking it there.
Of course.
So I left the area and I passed through them again. And then I look at the guy and I started speaking in Arabic. And I told him, oh, my hair is ugly. Well, thank you. And just to let you know, my mom said, if you don't have anything nice to say, then shut your mouth.
Very nice.
And then...
Can we reenact it? I want to hear you Arabic. Okay, so I'm going to be the Arab man.
That's not how Arab...
Okay,
Arab
now how would you approach me?
And then
I'm just sipping my coffee.
Okay. That's how you sip your coffee. And then I went close to them.
No, I want you to reenact it. So
I started walking.
Okay, so you're approaching me. Okay.
Tack, 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 tack. I said, شعراتي مش حلوين. My hair is not beautiful. And then he was like already shocked. And then his friend next to him started nudging him with his elbow. And he's like, oh my gosh, dude, like she understood the whole thing that we said. And then I was just looking at them and it was a stare down for a couple of seconds.
But that's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, and I think they were like super shocked about it. And then I told him, إمي قالتني إذا ما عندك شي حلو تقول, I don't know if that is the correct Arabic, and I don't know if I said it correctly. Maybe it was, my grammar was wrong. ما تقول شي, like don't say anything. And he was just like looking back at me and he was just like ashamed of himself.
Like his face turned blue?
Not blue, a little bit red. He was ashamed of what he said. And then I walked out and his other friend just kept on laughing. The guy who said my hair is cool, he just kept on laughing and he's like, yeah, I guess he's like karma to you, you know. And I left, and even when I was far ahead, I looked back and they were still looking at me.
Like, what just happened?
Because I don't look Arab. I don't look
zero.
Arab at all.
You look zero Arab.
I look zero?
Zero Arab. Z-O.
Okay. So I look Latina?
You look like someone who...
Okay. Let's say you don't know me. I walk through Caribou. You're seated there.
I'm sipping my coffee?
Yeah. Where do you think I'm from?
I would say you're Filipino. I would 100% know you're half Filipino.
Ooh. Not a lot of people would say that. I mean, I don't get that all the time. Especially with my nose ring.
No, because I'm well tuned, I would say, because I've been born into...
That goes to our next line.
Okay, which is?
I'm just gonna say it because it connects to what you're saying. So you know how some people have gaydars where they can, you know, say if a man is gay or not?
Mine is very strong.
Your gaydar is very strong?
Super strong.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. So we have a multiracial radar, I would say. And we've built that over time.
It's called a Madar.
Oh, I'll accept it. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
A Madar. So I think because you are half Filipino, you would be more inclined towards knowing that I am half as well.
So I can easily identify someone who's half Filipino. And the strongest power that I have over that is identifying Asians. So I'm like, okay, that guy's Vietnamese, that guy's Indonesian, that guy's from Myanmar.
But it's funny, right? How we're able to discern. Are you also able to discern if someone's Indian, Pakistani, Nepali,
Afghani,
cool,
Bangladeshi,
nice, same for me. Like I can say if someone's Egyptian, Lebanese, Syrian.
But you have to hear them, right?
Or
not
can you
all
do
it
the
just
time.
looking at them?
Sometimes you can just say it by looking at them.
Okay,
there are distinct features from each country that you would say, oh, okay. But you know, the Levant region, if you're Jordanian, Lebanese, sometimes there are similar features. But from an Egyptian to a Lebanese, you would know, or from a GCC, Emirati or Saudi or Kuwaiti, even without them wearing the kandura or the abaya, I would be able to at least discern a little bit of it.
You know, for me as well, like for Europeans, just by their accent or their name, I can tell them, like I can tell where they're from.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more difficult for us to say, right? Because we're not from that race. Yeah. Like when we see a white guy without him speaking, we wouldn't know if he's American, Australian, Scottish, British, Canadian. Yeah. Except for maybe when he's redhead. It would be more Irish probably.
Yeah, leprechaun.
I'm sorry to our Irish listeners. Hello, Jan and Cormac.
Love you guys, by the way.
We love you so much. Thank you for listening.
No, but it is a gift, I would say. Because it's a good way to break the ice, especially if you do talk to them. Like, so where in Singapore are you from? Like, oh, how did you know I'm Singaporean? I'm like, oh, it's a gift. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of our multiracial radar, when people start asking you, where are you from? Oh, you look different.
Oh, I love this question.
I love this
and
question
hate it at the same time.
because I love playing the game of you guess.
Yeah.
Guess my ethnicity. I love it. And I love what comes out of them. Sometimes they're like, oh, you're, I don't know, as I said, Latina or Indian or not Singaporean. Indonesian, I get that. But
also Thai.
Yeah.
You can pass off.
Is it Thai?
Yeah.
But a half. Right?
Yeah, have something.
Yeah, okay.
Like Caucasian something.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I also get Pacific Islander. Yeah, I get that.
Like one of those Aboriginal people. I can see you wearing a tribe clothing
Moana.
and stuff.
Moana.
Sorry, I don't know what that is. Okay.
You need to catch up with your cartoon watching, by the way.
Sorry, I'm 29 years old. Okay, but wait.
Who watches Indian in a cupboard?
Guys, that movie, if you haven't watched it yet, I would suggest you pause this podcast, get on the TV, pop in Indian in the Cupboard on the Blu-ray.
On the Blu-ray? Who watches the Blu-ray?
On your VCD player, guys. I just enjoy it with a tub of popcorn and a Diet Coke. I just relax, man. Just unwind for the day.
If I watch this movie and I'm disappointed, I will be very mad at you.
That's fine. I can deal with that. But okay, let me ask you this. So what is your standard answer? Do you have a standard answer when someone asks where are you from?
It really depends where that person is from as well.
Okay, let's say when let's say for me, how would you answer it? You don't even know where I'm from.
Because you look more Indian.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm half Indian.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But why are you lying to me?
It's just fun to see them react to, oh, you're half Indian
See,
as
the
well?
only time I lie about where I'm from is when I sit in a taxi. Because I hate small talk, guys. If I ever sit in a taxi, I wish there was a button or like a sign that I could tell I don't want any small talk. Just get me to my destination.
This is how they make their day pass.
No, that's how they make tips.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all small talk
true.
and like, you know what, you were a nice guy.
But what I don't like is that when they start to get a little bit more personal.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, okay, ma'am, how old are you? I'm like, oh, okay, I'm 28, 29. Sorry, I just turned 29. 29, and they're like, oh, married? And I'm like, no. Oh. And then the disappointment came in, like, oh, madam, 29, too old for not having a family. And I'm like, stop judging me, man. Please just get me to my destination.
If you guys want to hear this, you should come to Comedy Kicks and watch for Liz. She has an amazing joke with regard
love that joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing joke. But for me, see, when people ask me where I'm from, I always say, so I'm half Indian, half Filipino, born and raised in Dubai.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So you attach the born and raised in Dubai. Okay.
That's my standard answer, I would say.
I always just say, like, I've been here my entire life.
Okay.
So 29 years in Dubai.
But that also explains when people ask, so where did you get that accent?
That was one of my points as well. Let me just read. So you have an interesting accent.
Yeah, I get you have a very international Western accent.
But you still have that Filipino and I would say Indian twang to it as well.
And we have this gift as well, I would say, like, when you go Arabic, your accent changes. When you go Filipino, your accent changes.
Yeah. And
it's called something, adaptive something.
Oh, okay. So it's a thing.
There's a term.
Okay.
So like when you speak to an Indian, even you would go little Indian.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So we are asked, how come you have this Western accent? How come you don't have an Indian accent or a Filipino accent? And I'm writing this joke as well where I say that on the phone, people will like, oh, this guy sounds like he's Western or he's somewhere like from that side of the world. But when they see me, they're like, oh, okay. And then they lose all respect for me at that point because obviously it comes down to how you look as well.
Because of your brown skin.
Exactly.
Which is so sad.
Yeah, it is very sad.
But it happens to me as well. Like when I'm on a phone with an Arab person and then they see me in person, they're like, oh, you're Khoury?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am Khoury, which is the most Lebanese surname you can ever get.
Yeah, that is true.
It's like De La Cruz for Filipinos.
It is weird in a way as well. Like I say, I only get respect when I speak to someone on the phone.
That's sad.
It's not sad, but it's funny at the end of the day as well.
I mean, it is funny, but when you look at it, like appearance
is everything. No matter what you say, even when they say looks can be deceiving, or when they say that like you're attracted to someone based on how they look, it's 100% true. Like they say, no, they look at the heart. But it's always boils down and comes back.
Yeah, first impression.
Appearance. Yeah,
right. Until you're probably able to capture their heart after, but
that's a very slow process, I would say.
Yeah. And only if you get the chance to.
So guys, most of you may know if you ever stalk me on Instagram that I do look more Indian than I do Filipino. And this has also raised so many questions and so many concerns to people. Especially because I do have a Philippine passport. So everywhere, all my IDs declare that I am Filipino. And this happens a lot, especially when I go to hospitals. They always think like this is some insurance fraud or something like that. Because I come in, I fill up the form, I say I'm Filipino. And all the nurses, they come and interrogate me like there's no tomorrow. Like there are times when, like I was in hospital yesterday and I had to do a test.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm dying.
Okay. Guys, that's his humor, by the way. Don't be alarmed.
Yeah, but then so I was in the waiting room and this Filipina comes up to me and she's like, Joshua. I'm like, yeah, that's me. She's like, oh, okay. Then she starts talking to me in Tagalog first to test out. Then I reply in Tagalog and then she's like,
reenactment time.
Okay.
Hospital and the nurse.
I'm on my phone. Tak, 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 tak.
Yeah. Mr. Joshua Diaz? Oh, no. They'll start with Joshua Diaz.
Yeah.
They won't call you Diaz. Mr. Joshua Diaz?
Yes, I'm here.
Kayo po si Joshua Diaz?
Opo.
Sabi po dito, Filipino?
Ako po ay may Filipino ako.
May Filipino ka?
Yeah. Filipino ako po.
Okay.
Half po.
Pasok na tayo dito sa kwarto. Kukunin ko lang yung BP mo.
Sige.
Tsaka yung timbang mo.
Sige.
Say something.
Ate, anong po oras yung appointment ko? Kasi may meeting ako sa mamaya sa 4 p.m. Ilang oras po yung...
Okay, it's passable.
It's
okay,
passable, yeah. So what happens, you did it right, but they first ask me, oh, are you Filipino? I'm like, yeah, I'm Filipino.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start asking, what's your full name? And then they look at the paper just to make sure everything ties up. And then they ask more questions like, oh, where's your mom in Philippines? Like, where's your mom from in Philippines? I'm like, my mom's from Mekawayan, Bulacan. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, do you know this person? Do you know this person?
That is so funny though. Filipinos, when they know that you're from somewhere and they're from there as well, they start asking, oh, kilala mo ba yung mga Cruz? O yung mga Samson sa Olongapo? That means they're asking for the surname of someone.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of Filipinos in the Philippines, man. How would I know who you're talking about?
And another thing that they also add to it, like, oh, that's near me. And then I'm like, oh, where are you from? Like, Mindanao. And I'm like, that's the furthest place from where I stay. They're always like that. They're like, oh, we're so close to each other.
Yeah.
But I heard it's a Lebanese thing as well. They always ask you what's your last name.
Yeah.
And then they want to
And then they start saying, okay, where are you from? And if I say, oh, from Beirut. When Beirut? And I say, Ashrafia. Oh, Ashrafia. So do you know these and these? And I'm like, no, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very weird, and it happens as well. I remember when I was in Philippines, and I just landed in Philippines, and I'm waiting in the immigration line, and I have to go to the line that says Philippine passport holders, and I'm standing there, and people would be like, "Excuse me, sir, you can go to the foreign line," and I'm like, then I just show them my passport, and they're like, "Oy, Filipino ka pala. Welcome back, sir." I'm like, "Thank you. It's good to be back."
People are doing a stare down on you. Like,
seriously, they always think I'm in the wrong line.
What are you doing?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of stare down, I think our parents got it a lot, right? Like from other people.
I would say yes.
Maybe even more so when they were younger, because now mixed race couples it's just the norm. But I guess when they were younger,
it wasn't a sight that you see every day.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's so common. Like I don't feel special anymore. Like there was a time when we were like, oh, I'm half Indian, half Filipino.
Yeah.
But now the other guy's like, oh, I'm quarter Brazilian, quarter Japanese, quarter Cuban, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. I'm a quarter something else. But yeah, I guess it was a difficult time for our parents to maybe hold hands, show a little bit more affection towards each other. And I've seen that growing up, going to the malls, when we're in the Philippines, people would look. Not necessarily in a negative way, maybe some negative, maybe some positive, but people will look because it's not the norm. Yeah.
But you know what? As well, I'm the one who's also like that. When I see someone, two different nationalities, I'm like, I look and I'm happy. But it maybe for them, it's like, oh, why is this guy staring?
Yeah.
It's something that we all stare at, I guess.
True.
Because it is interesting. It is very intriguing.
Interesting, and I really celebrate mixed race couples. Like, go good
for
job.
It. Yeah.
You will have beautiful kids.
Yeah. So going back to what I said a while ago, when people find out where I'm from, they ask me the most ridiculous questions.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like what you said a while ago, are your parents still together? And it also comes like, so what languages do you speak? Where did you grow up? Are your parents still together?
Where did they meet?
Yeah. All those kinds of questions.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the thing. When I find out when people's going to ask me where I'm from, I'm like, do you have 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Because this will take time.
Even more.
Yeah, I would say more as well.
Because the follow-up questions, but I know them to heart already. I feel like I have an automated response.
Yeah, like we have a template already in our mind of what we're going to say when it comes to being asked this question.
We've been getting those questions ever since we could speak, I would say.
What languages do you speak? What side do you like better? Which country do you like better?
Do you have siblings?
Oh, man. Yeah. It doesn't end.
That's true. Which culture do you feel more inclined to?
But the most common one I would get, like the closing of everything. So what do you see yourself marrying, a Filipino or an Indian?
Oh.
Yeah, always ends with that.
I've been getting that recently. Now that you're saying that.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's funny. When they say, so, would you marry a Filipino or a Lebanese? And I'm like, what a question.
Filipino.
What a question. None of the above.
Good answer, I would say.
I want a half and half too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So you'll have a kid Kid?
Quid? I hope
Quid.
I won't get a
Oh,
quid.
have a quid, govna. No, but it is fun though. At the end of the day, you stand out from a lot of people.
We do.
Mm.
We stand out among the rest.
Yeah.
And that's what is interesting, is that when we're outside, people look at us as if we're aliens.
People look at me normally because I really don't have any Filipino features except my nose, and I would say my accent to some extent.
Yeah, the first time I met you, I knew you had a Filipino something in you. I'm like, I knew it. I heard a Filipino twang in your voice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember I told you that?
Yeah, you did.
The first time we met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first thing you said to me. Like, Note, hi, how are you?
Yeah. Like, I knew it. I knew you were something. And then when you half Filipino, there was a Filipino twang in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another thing that I want to say, like, so Jollibee not recently, I would say last year, released a meal which was biryani rice and Jollibee chicken.
Here?
And that's in the UAE.
Oh, I never tried that.
And that's the embodiment of me, you know?
That is you in a food format.
That is me on a plate.
Oh, wow.
Like biryani rice and Filipino style chicken. And that's another thing which comes down to food. People also ask, what food do you like better? And I equally love both, I would say.
Yeah.
Like if there's adobo and Goan sausages, I would eat both.
But isn't it amazing that whenever we have birthdays, Christmas, or any occasion, that we always have a lot of food choices, because it's a mix of Lebanese, Filipino, and Western cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
The same in your household. You'd have Filipino, Indian, and Western cuisine, and sometimes fusion. So even before fusion food became famous,
became popularized.
Yeah. Our moms were cooking fusion food.
And to them, it's normal.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, just let me add some chili powder into this sinigang or something.
Or let me just add some spices to this adobo.
Yeah. But it's a beautiful mix, though, I would say.
Yeah.
And especially what our parents can cook up with in the kitchen when it came to mixing both cuisines together.
Yeah.
It is really nice. It does taste delicious.
And it's great to have a wide variety of choice, I would say.
That's the reason I was very fat when I was growing up. Yeah, morbidly obese, I would say.
Oh.
Till now, maybe, to some extent.
I was just going to say, are you done with that phase?
Oh, is it over, Josh? Because it doesn't show on your body.
Do you get annoyed when people judge you for not being able to speak your parents' mother tongue?
I mean,
not I wouldn't say not being able to, but not being able to fluently speak your parents' mother tongue.
I get it from a lot of people who are Indian. And I've spoken about this before, I would say, but even when the last time this happened was when I was at the barber, and he starts talking to me in Hindi, and I'm like, sorry, sir, I don't speak Hindi. And he's like, oh, I thought you were Indian. I'm like, yeah, I am Indian, half Indian. He's like, oh, and your dad never taught you Hindi? I'm like, no, we never did speak Hindi or Konkani in our household. And he's like, oh, okay, that's weird. What passport do you have then? I'm like, I have a Philippine passport. And that also opened up another box of questions, like a Pandora's box of questions. And he's like, oh, how come you didn't take your dad's passport? Are you still living with your dad? Or do you know your dad? I'm like, yeah, I saw him he dropped me to the barber.
I get that question a lot as well.
But lucky for you, you can speak both languages.
Yeah, but sometimes I get judged for not being fully Lebanese, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am able to speak Arabic, but I'm not the best Arabic speaker out there.
Mm-hmm.
So when I don't embody the qualities, the characteristics of being a Lebanese, I get judged for that. Like, oh, you're not too bold, or oh, you're not too opinionated.
Yeah, okay,
and that's not very Lebanese of you.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, you got it from your Filipino side. And I'm like, okay, do I have to be 100% Lebanese?
We can have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Or the worst of both worlds.
And I think
as
that's
well.
the best of being half and half, is that you're able to take the good sides from both ends, and you're able to mush it up and be
a unique individual at the end of the day.
Superhero.
Yeah. But I take on more after my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can see from you that you've taken both sides of Lebanese and Filipino.
Really?
But for me, I don't think you've really seen an Indian side of me.
No.
Yeah.
I've seen more of
I save money, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's an Indian thing.
Yeah. We eat in Indian restaurants.
Yeah, I eat with my hands. That's another Indian thing.
I've never seen you eat with your hands, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like eat rice with your hands?
Yeah.
No, haven't seen you.
Okay, then we have to go to a full-on Indian restaurant.
Okay. But not something that's too spicy.
Yeah, I cannot handle spice.
Okay.
That's another thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I have zero tolerance to
that
spicy
is
food.
not so Indian of you.
But my brother and sister can eat chilies directly, I would say.
Ooh.
For me, I'm like, chilies, keep it away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start sweating.
Profusely.
Do you feel that sometimes you don't fit?
All the time.
Yeah. How does that make you feel?
See, so it's bit of like an identity crisis. So if you're born in the Middle East, you go to a British style school.
Yeah.
You're Filipino Indian. Around me, my classmates were Syrian, Indian. There was a Polish guy in my class. So it really makes me question, so where do I belong in all this? And I never really had an identity. Like, for me, I was just a citizen of the world. Like, I never confined or never embraced my Filipino side as much growing up, or my Indian side. And I just had like a sort of a neutralized mindset, I would say.
Yeah, because even when we're in our hometowns, I would say, when I'm in the Philippines, I would catch myself saying, I miss home. But where is home, right? Is it Philippines? Is it Lebanon? Is it Dubai? When I'm in Dubai, I miss both Beirut and Olongapo, where I'm from. And then when I'm in one place, I miss the other two. So most of the time, I don't feel that I fit wherever I am.
So
you know, when I'm in the Philippines, I feel like a foreigner.
Exactly, you feel like a stranger in your own land as well. Yeah.
And then when I'm in Lebanon, I feel like I'm a foreigner as well. So where do I fit? I don't know. Which is, I guess, one of a dilemma.
Yeah.
What adds complexity to that is that we're not only half and half, but we're also not born and raised, but we're raised in a country that is not our own. So not only are we from a mixed race family, but we're also a third
culture kid.
There you go. Wow. Took me a while. Third culture kid, yeah.
No, but it is weird. Like, when I go to Philippines or in India, I feel like, is this how reality is? Is this how my parents lived their lives when they were growing up in their respective home cities or towns?
Yeah.
But it is cool as well. Like, you get a glimpse of, I would say that's the real life. I wouldn't say that living here in this country, maybe you're exposed to some extent, but when going back there and you're seeing like the struggle and the hustle and the bustle of the city, that's a real city.
True. I think my last one on, the notes that I've written down is, we always hesitate or think twice before filling out the nationality or ethnicity background in questionnaires. Like, when that's asked, I'm like, am I going to write Filipino Lebanese, or just Filipino, or just Lebanese, or put the Lebanese first before the Filipino?
Or vice versa, yeah.
Or vice versa. Like, other people, when they fill out forms, it's like, go American or go Filipino, whatever. But for us, we're just like, what do I want to write?
Can I ask you something? What is there on your CV? What nationality?
It's Filipino Lebanese.
Oh, you put both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Philippines
Same
Lebanese.
like me.
Yeah.
So I think it's also a selling point when you try to look for a job.
Yeah. Because I don't want to be unfair. Like, my mom and my dad both worked hard to bring me to Earth. But I'm both. I am a Filipino and I am Lebanese as well. Doesn't matter which passport I currently hold. That's who I am.
That's who you identify as. So it can't be unfair,
right?
Yeah.
Can't be unfair.
Because most forms, if there's a solo option, then I would just put Filipino. But if I can type other or there's a drop down, then I would definitely try to select both countries.
I would put Philippines only because it's the current passport I'm holding. It's where my visa is. It's the passport that I use when I travel.
Okay.
So I would put Philippines first, but most of the time, if I'm able to, I would put Filipino Lebanese. Yeah.
Interesting. So that's the thing. So what happens if you... Okay, let me ask you this. You move to Canada.
Yeah.
Or you move wherever and you obtain their citizenship and you become, like, let's say by passport you're Canadian. What would you say when someone asks you where you're from?
Filipino Lebanese.
Okay.
I'm still Filipino Lebanese. It doesn't matter if I have a Canadian, German, Singaporean, whatever passport it is. It is a passport. It's a document. Like, my roots are not from Canada. My roots are from the islands of the Philippines and the mountains and seas of Lebanon.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's quite a sensitive topic, but I'm not...
We did speak about this briefly before.
Yeah.
Like, it is sort of a pet peeve. When you when you see someone who looks Asian, I would say.
Yeah.
And like, where are you from, man? And he's like, oh, I'm from Canada. No, where are you really from?
Yeah. But, people hate that.
People hate that as well.
When you ask, where are you really from?
Yeah. I know people hate it, but I really want to know how would I say this? I want to know their background. I don't want to know what passport they have.
Do you think it's appropriate to ask, but where are your roots from?
Yeah, I think it's
right
100%
instead
fine.
of saying where are you really from.
Yeah.
Or like or where are your parents from? Because maybe they're a first generation or second generation or third generation, whatever,
immigrant, and then
then they moved to somewhere.
I think it's fine. I really want to know what their heritage is.
Yeah.
I'm not asking what passport they have. But I think it is a very sensitive topic, especially to immigrants in like US whose parents have come, did the whole American dream.
They were born and
thing,
raised there.
and then they've legally gotten their US citizenship. And obviously they want to identify as a US citizen.
Yeah, and for those who grew up there, they never had a taste of their own culture, their own, which I would say us as well. Like we grew up in Dubai. It's not like we grew up in Philippines or I grew up in Lebanon. But I guess it's just our parents instilling that culture within us that you are Filipino.
Those values,
Lebanese.
Don't forget your roots.
Yeah.
Don't forget your roots, guys.
So even if I get to acquire an Emirati passport and now we're able
it's
to
open,
yeah, they just announced it 2 days ago.
Very big news
this
for
week,
UAE.
very big news, guys. You can now acquire an Emirati passport. That's huge. But you have to renounce whatever passport or country you are
But UAE's
supporting.
passport is one of the top 5 in the world.
It is very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of if you really, really want it, then go for it.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make a better life for yourself and for your future kin, go for it.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. If you're happy with your ethnicity, you're happy with your passport, keep it. If you're not, then migrate to somewhere else and acquire that passport if you deem that will help, the future of your kids, your family. But I just hope that you don't forget your roots.
100%.
Yeah.
You said it best. Before we go to handy advice, I want to ask you something as well. What do you think about all these half Filipinos now just moving to Philippines and starting up careers in showbiz? Because if you ask me, I cannot tell you one single Filipino celebrity who's pure Filipino.
Oh, there's a lot. Come on. There's a lot.
Tell me 2.
Jericho Rosales.
He's pure?
He's pure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Angel Locsin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, you win this round.
But you're right. I would say more than half, probably, of the celebrities, actors, and actresses in the Philippines.
I would say 99%.
No, come on. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. But yes, majority, not even half, majority of them are half something else. I don't hate them. I'm not judging them. Like, good on them for finding something that, gives them, that is able to provide them with a good life. And that they're able to use what they're naturally blessed with. I mean, not all of them, but most of them.
Half of them are the worst actors I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but when I mean naturally blessed, like their features.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like they're they look really. The good thing is, Filipinos, when they're mixed with any other race,
beautiful people.
Oh,
look at me, for example.
Chef's kiss. Mwah.
Look at me. I'm a prime example of what you just said. We
will take a short break again, guys, and talk about this. I just need to bring Joshua back to earth, okay? But yes, like, I mean, I'm not hating on them. I'm not a hater.
No, for me, I just don't see why they're idolized so much. Like, I know parents of mixed race kids, and they say, "Yeah, my kid's gonna be in showbiz one day." Yeah, but that's a sad fact. Yeah. In the Philippines, like, when the further you look like different, or in a way that you're Filipino but you look different, the more they look up to you. Yeah. The whiter your skin is, the more American your accent gets, the more Konyo you're able sounds. To exactly the way that you speak Tagalog is konyo. Yeah. The way that you look is different. You look, American. You look more Western. You're looked up to. You're even on top of the pyramid. Yeah. Which we need to stop, guys. Yeah. Filipinos are beautiful. Morena skin is magic, guys. Oh, I love morena skin. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. But I guess it's getting better. I would say, but there are Filipinos, half Filipinos who I really look up to. Like, I would say Will Dasovich, Erwan Husaf. I think it's Solen Usaf. Yeah. Yeah. Then I don't. Ann Curtis. Yeah. Yeah. That crew of being half and half. Yeah. Yeah. That's also really good. Like, give back to your country as well. Don't take everything from it. Give back in it. Yeah, and don't forget your roots. Like, it always goes back to that. Like, only. Yeah. I think he always says he's Filipino. Mm-hmm. Or Erwan or Ann Curtis, or, So it's good
that even if they're half and half, they still don't forget that they're actually half Filipino. Yeah.
So before, sorry, I'm gonna bring this back. I mean, go back to what we just said, but there are my long term goal is to move back to Philippines, and I've gotten so much backlash from Filipinos. Like the first thing that they say is, there are millions of Filipinos who want to live in the Philippines, and you're the only guy who wants to go back.
Yeah.
But for me, it's not about.
You've gotten that from me as well.
What? Yeah, I've gotten that comment from you. Yeah. But for me, it's about giving back to Philippines as well. I've never lived there, and I want to experience life over there. And I have the same thoughts about me going to India, because I'm a Dubai kid. I know the world from the Dubai lens, I would say, and I want to go to Philippines, experience it for myself. Because I've seen my brother, how resilient he is as a person, and I want to reach some level of that. So that's
you want to acquire the same ability.
Exactly.
Philippines, or I guess India as well, will make you a resilient person.
A very different person from who I am today.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a breath of fresh air that you would like to move out of Dubai and go to either Philippines or India.
Yeah,
but that's
that
good.
Fresh Manila pollution.
Oh, that fresh air. When you wake up in the morning, you just want to
get that lung cancer in. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so I think that wraps up our episode. Is there anything else that you want to bring to the table?
I want to talk about our handy advice.
Okay.
So my handy advice to all of the mixed race kids out there is embrace your uniqueness, guys. We are so unique, and your kids will be even more so unique. Uniquer.
Yeah.
And don't forget your roots. Don't forget where you come from. Try to immerse yourself in the cultures of your parents, and even the culture of wherever you're staying, I would say, and be open.
Yeah.
Be open, be proud of where you're coming from. Because it's a privilege to be a half and half, or a quarter, whatever. Not everyone gets to have that.
Yeah, not everyone gets to enjoy that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very well said. Mine also joins Janine's comment as well, and I written it down because I want to say this perfectly, because it's something I want everyone to take away. The world is our canvas, and we are the paint and the color pencils. We are all different shapes and sizes, and we all are unique and similar at the same time. We all come from different cultures, backgrounds, upbringing, and even colors. And together we bring color into this black and white life, this black and white world, and let us paint the world bright.
Who are you?
I don't know. I'm the Pablo Picasso of words.
Those are beautiful words.
No, so because there are a lot of movements going on, like the Black Lives Matter, and people who are being ashamed of being like a certain race. Like, don't do that, guys. You're all on the same planet. Let's all use our voices and whatever we can do to make everyone feel like they belong. Let's end racism, guys, one day at a time.
Oh, yeah.
From our podcast, sitting in Dubai.
Yeah.
Let's try to make this work. Let's accept everyone for who they are.
Yes.
Yeah, let's love one another.
Where you're coming from.
Make mixed race babies.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that can end racism in itself.
Yeah. Let's paint the world together with mixed race babies.
So yeah, that's my handy advice. Let's paint this world colorful.
Beautiful.
So guys, thank you for listening again to episode 8 from our new setup here in Dubai. And please do follow us on Instagram and send us your DMs, your emails, your suggestions. You can follow us on Instagram at Half a Nice Day Podcast, or send us an email at halfanicedayshow@gmail.com. Please do rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and follow us on Spotify. Also, you can listen to us wherever you stream your podcast from.
Bravo.
And on that note,
have a nice day.
Wow, yo, that was an orchestra.
Thanks for listening, guys. We love you.
I like you as a friend. Okay, bye.